All right, boss, per your request, I'm gonna make you a video of how I got this spread. This light's just beautiful too, man, if give me this. All right, so first and foremost, let me zoom out as much as I can here. We've got our spread out. The farthest one's about 63 yards or 53 yards away from the blind. The closest one right there is like within 10-ish, 15-ish. I didn't range him. Sorry, I should have done that before the video. My main thing when I'm putting these things up is kind of tell a story. So when we're looking at these, we see these two guys in the back. Those are our moving sentries, our little dive bombers. These guys showed up late, so they're like, shit, man, the flock is leaving without me. I better start walking. They've got that upright posture. They're looking. Because they're new to the area, they don't quite trust the old sentries, but they're gonna assume that those guys out front have already kind of secured this area, and that's why they're all kind of moving that way. Of course, they're moving upwind, and that's because as soon as they take off, they can get that extra boost and kind of get out of harm's way as fast as possible. Over here, we'll start from left to right, but that's why those guys are in the back. I know it looks kind of like scraggly. Why would they be there? That's why. Same with this guy, he's kind of like, uh-oh. We've got one of our main sentry silhouettes. One of the things I try to remember is the direction of the birds coming in. What that's gonna do is with the lighting, give it the best silhouette right there. If you turn it or whatever, it's gonna look off and it's not gonna give it to you. So I tried to make sure that I align that up. In here, we've got kind of an open space, and that's gonna bring the birds, in my theory, to this side of the blind here, and so they'll kind of, where's my hand? They'll kind of come in this way. They'll see that open area. They'll land. That open area is about 30-40 yards. So, and I told these guys to be shooting some pretty heavy stuff, so they'll hit it. So, all right, moving on. The other thing I tried to look at is kind of tell a story here. So we've got these moving guys looking around, they're pecking through food. When we do placement, we want to make sure we're extending our arms on both sides, and that's going to tell us if our birds are too close. And that's because you want to think like this bird of like, oh shit, when Leigh Mucky, your guy for ribeye in the sky, starts blasting, I got to get out of here. So anyway, again, we're just telling the story. We've got that dead area right in here. That's the same purpose. They're going to be like, oh shit, I'm missing out on this great food. Come in, get behind the flock. That's kind of what I was observing last week, is they'll leapfrog each other, but they'll come in behind first, and then that'll get them on the ground, and then potentially a second shot. Over here, I kind of drew this picture so that the cranes are coming upwind, so they're coming kind of towards the wind. Yeah, upwind. And as they're walking upwind, the story here is that they're picking through this cotton. And so we've got sentries on our flanks, moving sentry up top. And what these guys are doing in this story is, just like we see with a lot of the flocks out here, they're a little bit more spaced out. What that does is that's going to give them the appearance that the whole flock is kind of moving this way and that way, which you know, that's pretty much the direction they move. So it looks real natural. They'll work these fields kind of in that direction. That's from one day of observation. You got 10 years. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk on how I did my decoys. Hope it doesn't sound too cheesy, but there is a thought process here. And I'm definitely trying to get these shots lined up. For this particular hunt, I've got two guys. We're going to feel them out at dinner. If they're comfortable with it, I'm going to put in this blind. And the reason is, and I kind of told both shooters, I'm noticing that the more the merrier with these decoys. If we can get everybody shooting over the same decoys, and see we've got distinct shoot boxes here on the left and here on the right, that's going to allow our shooters to take maximum use of our resources being those decoys until we can get like, I don't know, 200 of them. So anyway, thanks, bud. I just appreciate you taking me seriously, man. I'm a huge nerd. I like doing this stuff, and you give me an outlet. So hope all's well. Good luck with everything. We'll see you when we see ya. Out.